Every tire on your car has an expiration date, and there's a 96% chance you have no idea what it is. That's not a guess. A survey found that only 4% of consumers know that tires become more dangerous as they age. 4%. That means almost every driver on the road right now is sitting on top of a potential failure they've never thought to check for. Your tires could look brand new, full tread, no visible damage, and still be dangerously expired. Here's why that matters. Tire blowouts cause more than 78,000 crashes every year and are responsible for more than 400 deaths. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has published study after study concluding that tire aging is a hidden hazard. Hidden because you can't see it. Hidden because there's no bright sticker that says replace by, the way there is on a carton of milk. And hidden because the only way to find your tire's age is to decode a cryptic string of numbers stamped into the rubber that most people don't even know exists. So let's decode it right now. Every tire sold in the United States carries a DOT number on its sidewall, and that stands for Department of Transportation. Look for the letters DOT followed by a series of numbers and letters. The part you actually care about is the last 4 digits, because those 4 digits tell you when your tire was born. The first 2 are the week of the year, and the last 2 are the year itself. So if you see 2319, that tire was manufactured in the 23rd week of 2019. Simple once you know what to look for. But here's where it gets frustrating. That code might only appear on one side of the tire, and sometimes that side is facing inward toward your vehicle. To find it, you'd have to crawl under your car with a flashlight, remove the tire entirely, or take it to a shop and have them put it on a lift. The government acknowledged this problem years ago and still hasn't fixed it. A proposal in New York would force manufacturers to mold the date on both sides of the tire in plain language, but as of now, that's still just a proposal. One more thing worth knowing. If you find a DOT code that ends in only 3 digits instead of 4, that tire was made before the year 2000, and it absolutely needs to be replaced. The old 3-digit system was so flawed that a code like 229 could mean the tire was made in 1979, 1989, or 1999. Nobody could tell the difference. So why do tires expire in the first place? It comes down to chemistry, specifically a process called oxidation. Over time, oxygen particles penetrate the rubber compounds in a tire and cause them to harden and become brittle. Think of an old rubber band you find in a junk drawer. You stretch it and it cracks. It snaps. That's oxidation, and the unsettling part is that tires oxidize from the inside out. The oxygen responsible for the degradation comes from the air inside the tire itself, so the damage is happening exactly where you cannot see it. Heat accelerates this process dramatically. The NHTSA found that tires age significantly faster in warmer climates, and states like Arizona, Texas, California, and Florida are the worst offenders. During the infamous Firestone tire crisis, more than 80% of the failures occurred in those 4 states alone. If you live somewhere hot, your tires are aging faster than you think, and that brings us to the timeline every driver should know. Most automobile manufacturers, including Ford, Nissan, and Mercedes-Benz, recommend replacing tires 6 years after their production date, regardless of tread life. Tire manufacturers like Continental and Michelin push that window slightly further, advising replacement no later than 10 years, with annual inspections starting at year 5. The broad rule is this: 6 years is when you start paying close attention, and 10 years is the absolute hard stop, no exceptions. But here's the critical detail most people miss. That clock starts ticking the day the tire is manufactured, not the day you buy it. A tire can sit on a store shelf for years before it's sold to you, and there's no law preventing a shop from selling you a tire that's already 5 or 6 years old and calling it new. You could walk into a tire shop tomorrow, pay full price for what you think is a fresh set of tires, and drive away on rubber that's already halfway to its expiration date. This has happened repeatedly. In 2008, an investigative report in California revealed that tire dealers were routinely selling tires that were 6 to 10 years old as new. That same year, a man in Georgia bought a used tire for his Ford Explorer, and 2 weeks later the tread separated. He lost control and struck a motorcycle, killing its rider. The tire was nearly 10 years old. In 2006, an 11-year-old boy died when his family's SUV rolled over on a California highway, and the cause was a spare tire installed by a tire service center. It was 12 years old. And then there's the case that made international headlines. In 2013, actor Paul Walker died in a Porsche Carrera GT traveling traveling between 80 and 93 miles per hour. An investigation determined the car was riding on 9-year-old tires. These aren't freak accidents. Safety Research and Strategies documented 128 deaths and 168 injuries from accidents involving tires older than 6 years. And those are just the ones that were tracked. So why isn't there a federal law? Why doesn't the government simply require tires to carry an expiration date? The answer is lobbying. The tire industry has actively fought against legislation that would mandate replacement after 6 years, arguing the guideline is arbitrary and unsupported by data, despite the mountain of NHTSA research that says otherwise. Tire manufacturers have successfully defeated safety legislation in 8 different states, and NHTSA itself has no specific guidelines on tire aging. They defer to the recommendations of car makers and tire manufacturers, creating a loop where nobody is ultimately responsible. In 2014, NHTSA announced it wouldn't create an aging rule because recently enacted safety standards had already cut tire-related crash deaths by 50%. Safety advocates challenged that number, and it turned out more than 3 times as many people had died in tire failure accidents than the agency had previously reported. As Sean Kane, president of Safety Research and Strategies, put it, tires can look just like new tires. It's an invisible hazard. Nobody's gonna take a tire that looks like it's never been used and throw it out. But if it's old, that's exactly what you should do. There's one tire most people never think about at all, and that's the spare, if you even have one. 60% of new cars are now sold without a spare tire, but if you do have one sitting in your trunk or bolted underneath your vehicle, when did you last check it? A spare tire follows the same aging rules as every other tire on your car. Consumer Reports recommends replacing it at 10 years regardless of condition, and because spares sit untouched for so long, they're the single easiest tire to overlook, and the most devastating to discover is expired when you're stranded on the side of the highway. So here's what to do. Go outside, find the DOT code on every tire including your spare, and use a flashlight at a shallow angle to make the numbers easier to read. Write down the last 4 digits and do the math. If any tire is 6 years old or more, get it inspected. If it's 10 years old, replace it, no debate. And the next time you buy tires, check the manufacture date before you pay. Don't assume new means recent. Ask, verify, because no one else is gonna do it for you. There are currently no federal laws requiring an expiration date on tires, and no regulations forcing dealers to disclose how old a tire is before they sell it to you. The only person standing between you and a tire that's quietly failing from the inside out is you. And now you know exactly what to look for. Make sure to subscribe to my channel for more videos to come. Thanks for watching.